I have spent weeks, if not months, attempting to write a good script. I've always had trouble when it comes to writing things. I have trouble pacing myself. Other times I get carried away or let my opinions do the talking instead of being objective. So you can imagine how important this game must be for me if I'm making a video of this caliber without any experience whatsoever. Especially when I could just write a Steam review on it and call it a day. I don't wish to waste your time, so if you're a busy person, you can just go down to the description and look at a review that I linked there. It's short, it gets to the point, and it's definitely better done than the video you're about to see right now. This video is not only about how a game with an infamous mechanic is good, it's also about how the internet as a whole has changed our perspective on certain things. Besides, I only played the demo, so I'm probably not the best source of information here. Again, go to the description below if you want to see a review from someone who actually knows what they're doing. Also, you don't have to play this game if it makes you uncomfortable, and I know it will make some people uncomfortable because I actually ran a test with my good friend Annie Mario.
What is this? Peter, ¿por qué están todos gordos? ¿Por qué? ¿Qué es esto?
A ver, no es lo que parece. A ver, el juego es bueno, ¿ok? Es un buen juego. Lo que pasa es que tiene un concepto un poco desafortunado.
Como que un concepto muy desafortunado.
Sí, porque en este juego lo que haces es... Bueno, ahí lo pone.
Me cago en... ¿Qué es esto, Dios? Dios santo. Peter.
Bueno.
Un amigo quiere este juego. Oh, Dios mío, Peter.
So, what is Tribal Hunter? It's questionable. But for all the wrong reasons. Are you guys familiar with cartoon tropes? Something that's usually made for a one-time joke or plot device in a kids show. Things like being inflated like a balloon, becoming gigantic, becoming tiny, eating a lot of food, among others. Now, when you're a kid, you think nothing of this sort of scenes. They're usually made to make you laugh. But when some people grow up, they can't help but get this weird feeling when they rewatch these cartoons. And thanks to the coming of the internet, we've come to realize just how strange humans can be. Now, I'll get this out of the way, there is nothing wrong with having a fetish. As long as you're not hurting anyone, feel free to do whatever you want. Whatever rocks your boat. I won't judge. Now, what I want to talk about is how the internet and the people in it have changed our point of view on these kinds of tropes. And what's funny is that our parents and our children, both sides of the spectrum, are both oblivious to what's happening. If I went up to my father right now and asked him about his opinion on vor, he'd be very confused. He doesn't live in the internet like I do. He has not seen the things I have seen. But where am I trying to get here? Well, I was actually going to describe this title as a fetish game at first, but after reading a review on Steam, I realized something. This game is not really a fetish game, but my ample knowledge of the internet distorted my point of view in a way that makes a lot of these tropes look like fetish material. Well, either that or I'm overthinking this and looking like a big idiot. Basically, what I'm trying to say is this is not like those other games where you start the game, walk up to the first enemy, lose instantly, and get off to the game over screen. No, this is something different. This is an actual game. So first things first, this game is heckin' cute. One look at the protagonist and my heart's already melting. Pixel art is always beautiful, can't go wrong with it. The soundtrack is also quite good. It's got an innocent summer vibe, which is pretty fitting since we're on a tropical island, at least in the demo. The combat is fairly simple. This is a mix between a Metroidvania and a beat'em up, so all you have to do is press the attack button until your enemies are down. The faster you tap the attack button, the better. And once you defeat them, you can eat them alive! This mechanic was handled extremely well since it can be the difference between life and death. Now, what do I mean by this? Allow me to explain. When you consume enemies, your fat bar increases. If you're hurt, you can sit down and digest the fat to heal. Not only that, but when you reach a certain level of fat, you become bigger and stronger. So by this point, you must be thinking, so I just have to keep eating until I'm invincible, right? Well, about that. Are you guys like... Oh god. Yeah, again, it's a good thing this game is kid-friendly, or even I would be traumatized by now. But this actually proves a very important point, because a regular inflation fetish game would just let you eat and eat and eat without end, and you would never die because of it. This game forces you to keep a balance, which is the mechanic that makes this whole game fun to play. Of course, not everything about this game is good, it's not the perfect game. For example, when you're small, you can attack more, and when you're bigger, you can attack less, but with more damage. Despite that, I feel like I'm doing a lot more damage when I'm smaller. The damage difference doesn't seem to be that big. I've been able to defeat some enemies on the first form with just the first few hits. However, when I fought them in bigger forms, it took a bit longer. This of course stops being a problem once you learn how to level up your abilities. The problem is, I actually got stuck at a certain part of the game because I didn't know how to do that. Okay, but no joke, I must have seen the game over screen a million times by now. Jump! Why do you not jump? Don't fall now. Ah, you suck! You really do have to time this right, huh? What? Oh, come on! I need a break. Okay, so after playing for literal hours, I just realized there's an abilities menu here. I can spend my XP. I'm an idiot. Man, god damn it. Okay. Give me all the strength. And some vitality as well. And once I had these upgrades, the game turned 100 times more fun. Now let's see how strong I really am. And... damn! Ho ho! Oh, this game is awesome. Come here! There! Yes! Yes! Now it feels like normal difficulty, my god! I am an idiot. So it's like an RPG as well. Good. But I can be like hey 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 hey. Right there. I'm a idiot. Okay, these guys were literally impossible for me to beat up before. Let's see how many seconds it takes me to beat their ass. Come on, bring it. Yup. Easy. Easy. Yup. Anyway, it's a shame I missed such a good feature in such a dumb manner. Maybe if it was called something else, like upgrades, then I wouldn't have wasted my time doing things like this. Yep. Best Metroidvania I've ever played. By a long shot. Such thrilling gameplay, my goodness. Someone call the press. This game is the game of the year. Okay, I'm gonna stop taking the piss now. It is a good game though. In a game like Castlevania, what you usually do is go from a good weapon to the next. You're constantly switching weapons and you level up from time to time. Because of that, there are times when you might feel like you could probably be more powerful, and you know you'll be more powerful because you know how the game works. The problem is, even if you level up, you don't really feel that strong. Because at the end of the day, it's not you who's doing the hard work. It's your super magical fire-breathing slingshot with 3 eyes, which is slightly stronger than your previous weapon, the Solar Cock of Rosh Kakul. In Tribal Hunter, you use your fists, and your fists only. Yes, there's magic, but I got through the demo without using a single spell, so there. Not only that, you also choose when and how you level up, so you've got more control over your strengths and weaknesses. Maybe you want to spend the XP equally in order to have more health and strength. Maybe you'll get cocky and turn into a glass cannon. Or maybe you're a difficulty masochist and you'll play the game in very hard difficulty without any upgrades. There are many options at your disposal. So what else is left? Ah yes, do you guys like expanding your base? When you rescue people, they will settle on your village, and you can upgrade the benefits they give you with money, the other thing you can spend in this game. You get money every time you defeat an enemy. The stronger the enemy, the more money you get. Ah, but I can already hear your thoughts. That sounds slow and boring. I don't want to go back and forth punching the same enemies over and over again. Well, if that's the case, the game has got you covered, because there are mini games. This is perfect not only for when you need some quick cash, but also for when you need to take a break from the main gameplay loop. The demo is extremely generous, letting you play up to the first boss with the option to upgrade in such a way that you become almost invincible to everything, as well as letting you upgrade the parts of the base you unlock. Other games have demos that either offer too little or have annoying time limits. And you know what? By the end, I really like the game. I genuinely want to see this title on consoles. There is a lot of potential here. Hell, if I hadn't bought Mystery Case 5 of the 13th Skull for a series, I probably would have bought this game instead. Just to support the creators. Because they deserve it. They made a great job. Which is very important, because this was the first time the developers have worked on a project this big. So the game is good. It's got many mechanics, a bunch of mini-games and upgrades, and it's as fun as Metroidvanias go. Hell, it's even got a sense of humor. We could kidnap her and make her cook for us. Great idea, we could use a new chef. Anything she cooks is probably better than your meals, Torrance. All you do is boil everything and you don't season anything. Shut up! Salt is bad for you! So now, let's try to analyze the reason why people would want to avoid this game. Because there's got to be a good reason, right? I mean, yeah, you don't need to have a degree to figure it out. I'll admit I looked into this game out of morbid curiosity. And before you accuse me of turning into an inflation fetishist, I'll have you know I looked up certain images on the internet as I was writing the script. And guess what? I now have nightmares. This game is actually very light in comparison to the things you'll see on the internet. And I mean very, very light. I almost consider this game to be wholesome. Which, I mean, I guess it is, because this game is surrounded by a completely innocent aura. There aren't any sort of innuendos, and there aren't any sort of disturbing plot devices apart from maybe the pigs wanting to eat everyone, but that's more of a survival thing. At no point does the protagonist turn to the camera and say, "Well, this is quite hot, isn't it? Are you getting off on this? I hope you are." You know what this game is? It's an alternate reality Kirby. A game that can be played by both children and adults. Only, you know, this game doesn't have an alternate reality version of planet Earth that's been frozen to death. And while the Kirby series has things that can be seen as disturbing, marks, in this game it's actually up to the eye of the beholder. Because, again, the internet. We see things on the internet, and those who haven't been on the internet will not think what we think. Basically, don't think too hard about it, just play the game, that's it. That's all I can say to defend this game. Just forget anything you might have seen on the internet, play this with an open mind, and just go with the flow. Because it's a fun game, and that's the only reason I'm defending it. The end. Now get out of my house. If you release this game on the Nintendo Switch, which is something that could happen if the developers play their cards right, then parents would see nothing wrong with it. It's just cartoon shenanigans in a cartoon world and overall cartoon fun. Heck, if this game was on the Switch, I'd get it. This was just a demo and for whatever reason I just kept coming back to it. Of course, if I had to choose any Metroidvania game as my favorite, this one wouldn't be exactly my first pick. I mean, I'm more of a Castlevania guy. But I would put this game on a pretty good spot, because it deserves it. It's a genuinely good game, even if the title screen can be off-putting. I can't wait to see what the developers have in store for the future. Whatever may happen, they have my unbridled support and respect. If you also want to support the developers but don't want to have this game in your Steam library, because reasons, then you can just buy the soundtrack. It's on their Steam page and it's very cheap. Anyway, now that I'm done, I'd like to thank you all for getting me to 100 subscribers. It means a lot to me. And who knows, I might do more videos like this one in the future. Only time will tell. For now, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Also, whatever it is that the protagonist is wearing, I want that.